Hot cars, swimming pools, playground equipment. Chances are your child's summer activities will be associated with one or all of these. And Pam Wong is a family services supervisor for Norfolk's Early Prevention Unit, and she's offering some wise counsel for parents as summer gets into full swing. And activities, well, you know, there are countless activities, but they will involve children for the most part, and there are things that as a parent you need to be mindful of at all times. We certainly don't want things to, tragedy to happen, but it certainly can if a parent is not paying attention. And also the issue of, you know, if your child's not in school and you're working, when is a child really allowed to stay at home? So that's a big question for a lot of parents, and the answer isn't all that easy, but there is a response.
There is, absolutely. Summer is fun and being outside and having a good time, but a lot of parents work and try to manage home and the kids and the child care, which can be very expensive. Yes. So, you know, every parent faces this question at some point. So it's tricky because parents are responsible. Yep. So a lot of factors weigh into that decision, and how old is the child, what's their level of maturity, what's the surroundings, what's the amount of time, who's nearby. So parents, it's a judgment call. The state doesn't set a particular age or requirement. A lot of it is left to the parent to make that decision based on their child's age and development and maturity. So those are just some guidelines. You may have a 12-year-old that can't be left home alone. You may have a 16-year-old that you would not trust to be home alone. But you may have a 10-year-old that can stay at home and be okay for a few minutes while you run to the store or while you're gone for a few hours. So it is a judgment call.
And a very important one too. So part of making that judgment is being very observant of the child's behavior at all times.
Parents are experts on their children.
Sometimes they don't know it, but
they
you have to call upon that information to make a decision as to whether or not a child should be left home alone. Again, it's up to the parents to be responsible.
And it's up to the parents, I think, too, to teach safety as you go along. You know, summer is about fun and having a good time, but you also need to sit down and talk with your children about safety issues. And it doesn't always have to be so serious, but it can be fun. Whether it's from protecting kids from being out in the heat by keeping them hydrated or wearing sunscreen. Just parents have to be mindful and teach some of these skills to their children before they leave the house, to talk about it together, make a game of it. Ask one of the kids to be the weatherman for the day and check the weather, check the UV index, and educate your child about some of the safety concerns just from being overheated. Kids just don't want to stop playing. They're outside and they're having a great time, and they don't want to slow down. So it's up to parents to keep an eye on them and to try to keep the kids busy in the morning before the sun gets too hot. And maybe lunchtime and then late afternoon is a good time to read a book, go to the library, play video games, watch a movie until the temperatures cool down a little bit. So I think that's a good strategy.
Right. And of course with the heat comes swimming pools and the beach and all of that. So there certainly danger can lurk in those areas, but there are things that a parent can do to ensure that the child at least is a little bit more self-reliant when it comes to being in the water.
And families in Norfolk are really fortunate to have such great recreation and community centers and facilities that have swimming pools that offer swimming lessons. I think that's probably, you know, in the 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds, it's really important to get them enrolled in a program. We've got a fantastic aquatic center, and I believe Parks and Rec has great programs that are low cost, some are free, and even transportation is provided from your community sometimes. So that's real important. The other reminder that I put out there to parents is when you go to the beach, which is a lot of fun and can be some cheap entertainment for the day, is to make sure you're near the lifeguard stand. Kids should always swim where there are other people, have a buddy, stay near the lifeguard, and pay attention to what's going on in the water, and the weather and the temperature, and could be jellyfish in the water. It could be dangerous rip currents as well. So again, you said being mindful is an important thing, and to teach kids to be aware of their surroundings.
Well, and certainly one of the things too that can frequently be overlooked when you're bringing a child to the beach is their feet, because the sand can get extremely hot. and it can burn. Yeah.
Sometimes it's temperatures outside of upwards of 90 to 100 degrees, so you can burn your feet, and they make great little water shoes.
Yeah.
For kids. They don't always like to wear them. But protective clothing and hats and water shoes are always a great idea to keep kids safe. And listen to them, because you'll know when they're not feeling well, when they complain of a headache or they're tired or their stomach hurts. That's a sign that they need to cool off, get some shade, and get some water.
All right. Yep. They seem like such common complaints, but they are very important to listen to. Okay. And of course there's, you know, the automobiles. I'm just going to run in for a minute type of mentality where a parent leaves a child in the car, and the temperature outside may already be hot, but if you don't want, you want to lock the child in the car, crack the windows a little bit to let the air flow, doesn't necessarily mean a minute is going to translate into a cool car when you get back.
No.
It's amazing how fast it can change.
And children can suffer from heat stroke in minutes, especially children under 4. It's really very dangerous to have a child in the car in the heat. Alone at any time. They need to be supervised. If you're lucky enough to be able to go through the drive-through, whether it be for your prescriptions or sometimes some of the fancy grocery stores, have some pickup, but definitely don't leave your child or your children together alone in the car, even to run into the store for a minute, because the kids can unlock that car. A stranger could come by and anything could happen. The heat is tricky. Sometimes we're all busy, we're rushing to work, we're rushing to childcare, there could be an emergency. And there are times when parents forget about the kids sometimes in the back seat. So a good reminder is, you know, keep the child's maybe the diaper bag or a toy in the front seat, or put something that you know you have to have with you in the back seat that'll force you to go into the back seat before you park your car. Sometimes we're just in such a hurry, it's easy to forget.
Yeah, yeah. Cell phone's not a bad thing to put in the back seat, because you won't be using it while you're driving. But
it's not a bad thing to put in the back seat. And we want summer to be fun, but we've got to keep the kids safe. So it's teaching them awareness and being aware of their surroundings, and keeping it all in perspective for them too.
Okay. Well, Pam is, as I said, a supervisor with our early prevention unit, and her particular area, they offer free parenting resources. They have some classes, and those can be, information about those can be accessed at 664-7790. You can also go to our website and find out more about the different types of parenting classes and resources that you offer. And many of these do not cost.
Many do not. It's a great opportunity. We even are starting to offer some support groups for parents who just want to come and talk. Many families relocate to this area and don't have a lot of family here. So we thought a support group would be a great idea, just to sit down and chat and talk about issues that are important to parents.
Okay, great. And be able to dispense some really good information in the process too.
We hope so.
Thank you, Pam. Good, solid advice. Sometimes people need reminding, but what a reminder it is. Thanks a lot, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next time. Bye.